Hello everyone, good morning. Our topic is all about the security of cyberspace, vectors, occurrence, and damage. Before we start our topic, let me first read the learning objective. This is to identify the security of cyberspace, vectors, occurrence, and damage. So what is the security of cyberspace is all about? The security of cyberspace can be conceptualized phrase from a user perspective, broadly defined. A secure cyberspace is one in which a user can make use of the internet without an unreasonable fear of suffering a high cost, with cost being defined in some combination of reputational, monetary, and rights violation terms. So there are three categories of how insecure cyberspace for an individual user. First, the available vectors for attack. Second, the occurrence of online cyber attacks. And the last one is the cost of successful attacks. So insecurity, there are more examples. First, spyware. Second, update, virus, spam, identity, firewall, password, internet, phishing, and hacker. So, in many aspects of the security of cyberspace are worsening over time, but many others are actually remaining fairly static year over year. In the odd case, a given indicator is actually improving. This measure of the insecurity of cyberspace are akin to the crime rate in the city of country. So this conceptualize of security of cyberspace there are three factors. First, the vectors available of cyber attack, the occurrence of cyber attacks, and the last one is the damage caused by successful cyber attacks. So together, those three factors determine in how secure cyberspace is for an individual user. For instance, when the vector of attacks are few, cyber attacks and are harder to effectively launch, making a cyberspace improvement more secure. When the number of attacks is low, the probability that a user will be subject of a cyber attacks is less, again, making cyberspace more secure. So likewise, when the damage caused by a successful attack is low, the cost of a successful cybercrime for an individual is less severe, meaning the environment is less threatening overall. So there are the five concepts of the vector of cyber attack via the following measure. First, new vulnerabilities. Second, malicious wave domains. Third, zero-day vulnerabilities. Fourth, new browser vulnerabilities. And the last one is mobile vulnerabilities. And also, there are two concepts of the number of attacks as operationalized. First is the botnets, and the second, recorded web-based attack. So, there are the six concepts of the damage of attack as operationalized. First, average cost per data branch. Overall organizational cost from data breaches. Third, the cost of detecting a data breach of and escalating. Fourth, post-branch reaction costs. Fifth, lost business cost. And the last one is the victim notification cost. So the keyword of data breach is an incident wherein information is stolen or taken from a system without knowledge or authorization of a system owner.
Vectors of attack. New vulnerabilities are exploitable points in the software code underwriting, a program that can provide a cybercriminal with unwanted access to a device. New vulnerabilities are distinct from zero-day vulnerabilities in that they are publicly unknown. Companies provide routine updates to their program. Malicious web domains are a passive vector of attack for cybercriminals because they require that the user go to an infected domain. Nevertheless, this can still be a potent avenue of attack. New zero-day vulnerabilities are vulnerabilities in software code that are as of yet unknown. The zero-day part of the name refers to the fact that there have been 0 days available to provide a path that fixes the vulnerability. Zero-day vulnerabilities are fairly rare and quite valuable. Cybercriminals that gain access to a zero-day vulnerability can attack computers easily. As there is no defense against these exploitations, therefore they are a highly potent vector of attack. New browsers vulnerabilities are weak points in the code of web browsers, such as Google, Safari, and Internet Explorer.
Occurrence of cyber attack. It is the botnets are computers that have been infected by a virus that allows them to be hijacked and used remotely by a third party for some illicit purpose. Botnets are often employed in distributed denial of service attacks, which require that a large number of requests be made of a website in a short period of time. Botnets are also often used to send spam emails. To become a part of a botnet, an online device need to have been the subject of cyber attack. A measure of botnet computers is one way to get at the number of victims of a crime. Although certainly not the only one, the numbers of botnet computers therefore gives a sense of the occurrence of the successful cyber attacks. Recorded web-based attacks are cyber attacks that were launched against one part of the network from an online source, and a good measure of the occurrence cyber attacks. Cybercriminal is an individual who commits cybercrimes where he/she makes use of a computer either as a tool or as a target or as a both.
The damage of cybercrime. The concept of the damage done by cybercrime is operationalized in 5 ways. This portion focuses exclusively on the cause of data breaches for companies, although this is certainly not the be-all and end-all of the cost cybercrime imposes on users of the Internet. All the data on breaches is taken from the Phenomenon Institute's annual cost of data breach study, which records the overall cost of data breaches. Unfortunately, the Phenomenon Institute only started collecting a global sample in 2030 and previously only collected the costs associated with US data breaches. Due to the overall lack of statistics on data breach costs, this makes the assumption that the US cost of cybercrime data is indicative of the world's cost. In reality, the average costs for the world are almost certainly far lower than the US cost. For example, in 2013, the organizational cost of data breaches in the United States was $5,850,000. It is important to note two additional limitations to the statistics collected on data breaches. The companies studied vary from year to year, as does the number of companies that are observed. Their limitation is that the studies exclude mega breaches or those involving more than 100,000 breach records in a single attack. Despite all these limitations, the Funimon Institute studies of the cause of data breaches are the best publicly available data on the overtime cause of data breaches. The first operational measure of the cost of cybercrime is the average cost for a company per breach record. This measures shows the organization's cost divided by the number of compromised files. The overall average organizational cost of data breaches in a given year is a useful measure of the cost of cybercrime, as it quantifies the total cost a company must bear due to online criminal behavior. Companies invest heavily in IT security to detect and escalate data breaches, which are worse than indicated ones. This investment is crucial as companies operate in environments with less than perfect security, highlighting the significant costs associated with cybercrime. The cost an organization incurs after a data breach to repair any damage caused, such as software and hardware, is a crucial measure of the cost of cybercrime, as it extends beyond theft affecting not only the stolen items. Cybercrime costs include lost business as companies rely on public perception of the trustworthiness. If personal or financial information is lost, people may choose other providers or stop using a company. The cost of lost business due to data breaches is a measure of the second order effect of cybercrime on a company's balance sheet. Cybercrime costs include notifying the victims of compromised personal or financial records. Companies may cover up breaches to avoid business losses, but are legally obliged to inform those affected.
So the summary of security of cyberspace vectors, occurrence, and damage is to examine the methods of cyber attack vectors, their frequency and trends, occurrence, and the resulting impacts, damage on individuals and organization. It highlights the need for effective cybersecurity strategies to mitigate the threats and their consequence. So we have our video for our securities of cyberspace.
Meet Anne. She often shops from www.shoppingcart.com. She has her information like email ID, address, and credit card details saved on the website to enable a faster and hassle-free shopping experience. The required information is stored in a server. One day, Anne received an email which stated her eligibility for a special discount voucher from shoppingcart.com. In order to receive the coupon code, she was asked to fill in her shoppingcart.com account credentials. This didn't seem fishy to her at the time, as she thought it was just an account verification step. Little did she realize the danger she would be facing. She was knocked off her feet when a substantial amount of money was wiped off her account. How do you think this happened? Well, yes, the email she received was fake. Anne's shoppingcart.com account witnessed unauthorized access from a third party. This type of attack is known as a cyber attack, and the person who carries it out is called a hacker. Could Anne have prevented this attack? Indeed, she could have, with the help of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity involves techniques that help in securing various digital components, networks, data, and computer systems from unauthorized digital access. There are multiple ways to implement cybersecurity, depending on the kind of network you are connected to and the type of cyber attacks you are prone to. So, let's take a look at the various cyber attacks that Anne could have been exposed to. One of the most common types of cyber attacks is a malware attack like Trojan, adware, and spyware, to name a few. Had Anne downloaded any suspicious attachments online, her system could have gotten corrupted by certain malicious viruses embedded within the attachments. Next is a phishing attack, the type of cyber attack which Anne experienced. Here, the hacker usually sends fraudulent emails, which appear to be coming from a legitimate source. This is done to install malware or to steal sensitive data like credit card information and login credentials. Another type of attack is the man-in-the-middle attack. Here, the hacker gains access to the information path between Anne's device and the website's server. The hacker's computer takes over Anne's IP address. By doing so, the communication line between Anne and the website is secretly intercepted. This commonly happens with unsecured Wi-Fi networks and also through malware. Password attack is one of the easiest ways to hack a system. Here, Anne's password could have been cracked by using either common passwords or trying all possible alphabetical combinations. To prevent future cyber attacks, Anne sought to implement a few cybersecurity practices. First, she installed a firewall. As the name suggests, it is a virtual wall between Anne's computer and the internet. Firewalls filter the incoming and outgoing traffic from your device to safeguard your network, and they can either be software applications or hardware reinforcements. Secondly, Anne implemented honeypots. Just like how flowers attract bees, dummy computer systems, called honeypots, are used to attract attackers. These systems are made to look vulnerable in order to deceive attackers, and this, in turn, defends the real system. In addition to these, she also decided to use unique alphanumeric passwords, antivirus software, and started avoiding mails from unknown senders. That was Anne's story. Cyber attacks are not just confined to individuals, but also to public and private organizations. The cyber attacks carried out in such places are more deadly, and they result in colossal losses. Motives of such attacks are many, starting from tampering with crucial data to monetary gains. Let's have a look at a few of the cyber attacks that companies are subjected to. Various public sector organizations and large corporations face the Advanced Persistent Threat, APT. In this form of attack, hackers gain access to networks for a prolonged period in order to continuously gain confidential information. Companies also witness the denial of service attack, where networks are flooded with traffic, which in turn leaves legitimate service requests unattended. A variant of this is the distributed denial of service, DDoS attack, when multiple systems are used to launch the attack. When a hacker manipulates a standard SQL query in a database-driven website, it is known as a SQL injection attack. By doing so, hackers can view, edit, and delete tables from databases. Amidst a plethora of cyber attacks, it is indeed a challenge for organizations with several networks and servers to ensure complete security. This is not an easy task, and to help with this, cybersecurity professionals are hired to work on identifying cyber threats and securing a company's network. There are multiple job roles in the field of cybersecurity. If hacking fascinates you, then the role of an ethical hacker is something to be explored. Such professionals try to exploit a network's vulnerabilities, just like how a hacker would do, but only to identify those vulnerabilities and resolve them for protection against an actual cyber attack. But if you are looking to design robust security structures, then the role of a security architect is more apt. A Chief Information Security Officer, CISO, plays a crucial role in enterprise security and is entrusted with the overall safety of the information in an organization. So, here's a question for you. Identify the type of cyber attack where the hacker's system takes over the client's IP address. A. DDoS attack. B. Man-in-the-middle attack. C. Phishing attack. D. Password attack. Give it a thought and leave your answers in the comments section below. 3 lucky winners will receive Amazon gift vouchers. With the increase in the production of global digital data, it is anticipated that cyber attacks will quadruple in the near future. Organizations are going to need cybersecurity professionals who can prevent these attacks. A career in the field of cybersecurity is lucrative and a very smart decision for professionals now. So, what are you waiting for? Get certified with Simplilearn and become a cybersecurity expert. If you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up would be really appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe to the Simplilearn channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update on the latest trending technologies. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more from Simplilearn.